Okie dokie, here we are for round number 1 of our Legacy of the North Winter Invitational. This time around, I'm going to do something a little bit more special, and I'm going to have a couple of co-commentators joining me for specific rounds. So for round number 1, we're going to see Andrew versus Boston, and joining me today is going to be Stephen Lau. How's it going, Stephen?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. So we're going to see Andrew on Cloud Post takes an instant mulligan, goes down to 6, and Boston, I think he's still contemplating his 7. So here we're going to see a classic matchup of Delver versus Cloud Post. What do we find? How do we think this matchup is going to go?
I think it's slightly Delver favored these days. I find that Cloud, the 12 post deck, it's like because the way it has sequenced mana, because the goal of the deck is to try to resolve like a Primeval Titan. But then the easiest way to do that is you need 2 green sources and 2 Cloud Posts, right? And then it like the gameplay is like you want to get your Cloud Posts out as fast as possible, but you also need 2 green sources, which makes it like really weird because they do not play ramp.
Yeah.
So I mean, if the 12 post player does not, it kind of stumbles, then the Delver player could definitely capitalize.
Yeah, so we're gonna see Boston keeping. I'm pretty sure he kept 7. Andrew's gonna start off the game with a Once Upon a Time and picks up a basic Forest. So obviously we know that Boston is piloting a variation of Delver, is Grixis Delver for this event, but you know, Delver known as a wasteland deck, and which is probably well positioned against a deck that's just trying to be playing Cloud Posts.
Yeah, and I mean they try to mitigate that by playing like I believe like 4 main deck Pithing Needles. Oh wow, and Boston just flashes 2 wastelands. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
This is gonna be tough if he doesn't find the Pithing Needles right away.
Yeah, okay. So Boston going to resolve a Ponder, and you going to respond with a Glimmer Post, gain 1 life, and try to Green Sun Zenith for X equals 1. Gonna find an Elvish Reclaimer. Boston's just gonna let everything resolve and pick it up to his turn. Finds a Flooded Strand that he knows is there from the Ponder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like if he could, he'd probably want to get rid of this this Reclaimer before it starts like, you know, searching for too many different lands.
Yeah, I mean, it also when it starts searching for lands, and it grows itself at some point, and it almost puts it out of Delver's reach.
Yes, yeah, the lightning bolt range, right?
Yeah, unless they're playing Unholy Heat, but I don't know if Grixis is playing Unholy Heats.
I mean, like it's, I could see them playing 1 or 2. It's.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I feel like if you're playing Deathrite Shaman, it's still Delirium, right? You still just need, so it's easy enough to get if you can turn on Deathrite Shaman. Sorry, not Deathrite.
Dragon's Rage.
Dragon's Rage Channeler. If you can turn on Dragon's Rage Channeler, then you can definitely turn on Unholy Heat.
Yeah, I'm sure people would definitely I'm sure people would definitely want to play Deathrite Shaman if they could.
Yes.
But we're gonna see Andrew just try to cast another Green Sun Zenith for X equals 1 here. Boston flashing a Daze, but
yeah, this is quite the juicy days because to 12 post players obviously mana screwed, so I can imagine I can see like a wasteland coming down right now just to just to make it hurt even more, unless Boston just wants to save it for like when a actual Cloud Post hits, which is also like fairly reasonable. Right now, he just wants to find a threat really bad though, because right now it's like, you know, if he has no pressure going on, then 12 post guy's okay with this.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing Boston resolve a Brainstorm here, and he just has so many lands. Obviously, again, 2 of them are wastelands, so they're half lands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to count the wastelands as spells.
Yeah.
In this case, right? But like if he has a Delver, I imagine he'd be so much happier right now, or just like a DRC as well, right? Just something to apply pressure while like the 12 post has mana screwed.
All right, so Boston going to just play a Flooded Strand and just funneling his cards for a little bit here.
I think I'm actually okay with him, like, you know, playing the bobble out and cracking if he didn't put the bobble back. But
yeah, Okay, so Andrew draws for his turn. It is an Eye of Ugin. We see an Ulamog in his
Ooh. Ooh.
hand. As
Yeah,
powerful
this.
as it may be, does not generate mana. I think so. Is it a pair of One Rings in Andrew's hand?
I don't know. It's hard to see. I didn't catch that.
I think his hand is 2 One Rings, an Ulamog, and then there's a mystery card. I mean, if he's able to resolve one of these One Rings, then because Boston's not applying a ton of pressure,
Yeah.
it'd be like not bad.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, like, this is. I'm not sure what his 6 was, but this was I'm pretty sure he knew Boston was on a Delver variant of some kind, right? Because he plays like so few other decks. So for him to keep like this type of hand on his 6 is kind of like feels kind of sketchy. But what do I know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not very experienced with a cloud like R12 post deck, so I'm not sure how well it mulligans.
Yeah. Oh, and there's the answer to the One Ring.
Yeah, so Boston cracked a Mishra's Bauble, sees an Orcish Bowmaster on the top, decides not to crack the fetch land. So going to draw the Orcish Bowmaster on Andrew's turn. Here's an Endurance from Andrew during Boston's upkeep because Boston has untapped. Going to exile a Primeval Titan to get this Endurance going.
Ooh.
I think he's just afraid of a Murktide coming down.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's totally acceptable. It's just a rough play, right? Like you're 2-4ing yourself for a card that might not be there.
Yeah. So Boston's going to pick up a Lightning Bolt after the Endurance resolves. Here's another Mishra's Bauble targeting himself. There's a Delver on the top. Is Boston going to leave it there? He does have this Orcish Bowmaster as a threat, though. So he could decide to just crack the fetch. But Andrew not doing a ton, so he could just opt to draw it.
Yeah.
He does, yeah.
I'm fine with the Lightning Bolt because I believe there's not enough lands for the Reclaimer to be. Reclaim can't be a 3/4 right now, right? So
yeah. So Andrew gonna top deck a Primeval Titan for his turn. Gonna pass it back to Boston. During the end step, Boston going to flash in an Orcish Bowmaster, create a 1/1 Orc army token, and then draw for his turn. It's going to be another wasteland.
Yeah, this is looking fairly dire. I mean, I'm having a hard time figuring out what type of draws Andrew can actually get out of this situation.
Yeah, like he'd have to rip like so many lands like that produce multiple sources of mana.
Yeah,
like, in a row because he has to play through these wastelands and all these counter spells that Boston has.
Yep.
And even then, the threats that he's trying to deploy, the One Rings, are not even that good anymore now that there's Orcish Bowmasters on the battlefield.
And the second wasteland comes in. Yeah, Andrew can't be happy to see that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's a third one in hand. Okay.
There is a third one in hand. Yeah. So that's gonna put the nail in the coffin. Andrew going to scoop up game number 1. So game number 1 is gonna go to Boston, having triple wastelands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we are, Boston. We're gonna see a little bit of sideboarding here. Boston looking at Spell Pierces to take out. It looks like he wants to take out Orcish Bowmasters too.
Mm-hmm.
And then Andrew's on the big screen here, going to be cutting a bunch of Once Upon a Time and Crop Rotations, which are really good decisions to take out. Not so, I don't know about the Once Upon a Times. I kind of really like that card, but Crop Rotation is really bad against the Force of Will deck.
Oh yeah, for sure. You always cut the at least some, if not all, the Crop Rotations when you're going against counter spells, because 2-for-1ing yourself and then getting counter spells it puts you back too far.
Yeah, unless you're playing something like Allosaurus Shepherd, right? That makes all of your green spells uncounterable.
Yeah, exactly. But he's also bringing in Carpet of Flowers, which is great against because it helps against Wasteland, and I believe he was bringing the Veil of Summers as well.
Yeah. Okay, so Boston, we're gonna see some sideboard here. Here's Double Price of Progress, Brazen Borrower, and a Meltdown. So Meltdown's probably for Pithy Needle, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think he brought out some Bowmasters, right? Which is okay, because I mean, I think the only targets are the One Ring, and then, I mean, if you're he's a Wasteland deck, and if you can get them online, then it's like good luck resolving a a 4-mana spell in a deck that has dazes, right?
Yeah, so I think he cut 2 Bowmasters, a Spell Pierce, and a single Lightning Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna see him shuffle up and start game number 2.
Yeah, hopefully Andrew keeps a better hand, or at least a hand with more mana.
Yeah, or at least a Pithing Needle hand. Hopefully he can get one onto the board.
Well, I mean that's going to have to be the start, right? Because if Boston can mess up, even if he has plenty of lands and Boston can mess up the mana, then that's it.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, here we are starting game number 2. Andrew going to be on the play. And Boston going to be going second. Ooh, okay, so Andrew has Endurance, Yavimaya, Cloud Post, Glimmer Post, Carpet of Flowers, Emrakul of the Promised End, and a Elvish Spirit Guide. Both gonna keep 7s.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot better. This hand's a lot better. I mean, it has a Cloud Post. I mean, I believe it also has a green source, so you can play like Carpet of Flowers. The only card I actually don't like is the Emrakul, but what can you do? Can't be they can't all be perfect.
Yeah, Boston going to draw a card and then play Underground Sea into Delver and a Mishra's Bauble to help flip that Delver over as early as possible. And you're going to draw for his turn. It is a Beseju Who Endures. Exiling Elvish Spirit Guide, comes down Carpet of Flowers. Is it going to resolve?
Oh, okay, interesting. Play around days that way, huh? All right, yeah.
I think. Does Boston have a... I think he's Brainstorm.
Yeah, he has a force. He has a force in Brainstorm.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if I were him, I wouldn't let it resolve, but I mean, right? Okay, he has. So right now, all of his daisies are dead now. I believe the 12 post deck also plays Cavern of Souls. So if Andrew's able to find Cavern of Souls, then his Force of Wills are dead. It's not going to be pretty. Like this one is really not going to be pretty.
Yeah. So that was Boston cracking a bubble at the end of Andrew's turn. Sees a land, going to stack it so he draws a bauble and gets a second try off of the Delver. It is going to be a second land, and Delver's not going to flip. Boston's just going to fire off a Ponder immediately and try to stack the deck. Here's a Wasteland drawn off of the Ponder. Takes out the Cloud Post. Comes in for 1 point of damage. Brings Andrew down to 21 to Boston's 20. Andrew top decks, I think that's a second Beseju. No, it's a Vesuva.
Well, and I think Boston has to do this play because he's realized that mana denial is going to be really hard, and then unless he has to stop playing his land, like stop playing like islands, he has to get rid of. He has to use his wastelands to get rid of all the soul lands, right?
Yes, he does. All right, so Andrew gonna play a Yavimaya, gonna tap for 2 green and use the 1 mana off of the Carpet of Flower to hardcast an Endurance. So if you're Boston, do you let this?
I think you have to. I think you have to, because if you don't, then you have no aggro. And if you have no aggro, then it's like, there's a Carpet of Flowers there, and then so it's like, well, I mean, you can play Wasteland and waste them, but then sooner or later you're gonna have to play more than one land.
Yeah. So when you say he has to, you mean like he has to get rid of?
He has to force. He has to force. Because he has to keep applying the aggressiveness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously Endurance, like what we're referring to is that Endurance has reach and is a 3/4, so it blocks Delver, Dragon's Rage Channeler, it blocks them all very efficiently.
Yeah.
All right, so Boston is gonna Force of Will. What was the card that he exiled? Was it a Murktide? I think it is a Murktide.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boston knows that the Ponder's on the top of his library, instantly flips the Delver, goes into combat, attacks, brings Andrew down to 18, Boston at 19 from the Force of Will, goes into his second main phase. And I don't think we're going to see Boston play this Wasteland. Like, I think the 2 lands that are on Andrew's board are not the primary targets that he wants to be using them for. Oh, okay, I was wrong.
Well, I mean, I think this is okay. I think you want to do that because if Andrew starts missing land drops, then that's his way to win.
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Andrew going to play Vesuva, going to copy the Glimmer Post, going to gain 2 points of life. Brings him back up to 20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and see right now, because Boston didn't counter the carpet, it's now he's Okay, yeah. Now he's in like a do or die scenario, right? Where it's like, well, damn, if you play lands, like Andrew benefits, and if he doesn't play lands, Andrew also benefits.
Yeah, so we see Andrew use the Carpet of Flower mana to generate a green to channel Beseju Who Endures. He's going to go after Boston's Underground Sea. Boston's going to respond with a Brainstorm, and it looks like he's deep in the take about what he wants to put on top. Looks like he's considering a Mishra's Bauble and a Polluted Delta at the moment. But he will be able to get another source of land, so he's not actually negging on mana. So
No. I feel like this is kind of this is a bit overreaching on Andrew's side. Like I don't know if there was a need to do that. I think the Beseju is actually better as a mana source because
yeah, it gives you that second source of green.
Well, yeah, exactly. And so like
I guess you could get a second source of green if Boston has 2 islands, but
I mean, I think I would prefer this Beseju if it killed something else and then gave Boston another island, right? So if Boston has 2 islands, then he gets ramped. But right now, it's just whatever. Like he might be even color fixing him, right? Like you don't know.
Yeah,
like he could have a lot of red spells in hand, so who knows, right? So I'm not. I don't think that play was the greatest, but.
We're going to see Boston top deck another Polluted Delta after shuffling the library. Going to go straight into combat, swings in with the Delver of Secrets, and brings Angie down to 17. Going to pass the turn, and you're going to top deck. I think it's an Elvish Reclaimer. Going to use the Carpet of Flowers to generate the 1 green. Down comes Elvish Reclaimer. There are 4 lands in the graveyard, so it is a 3/4.
If it only had Vigilance or Reach.
Yeah, we want to attack on these powerful cards and just add more abilities, eh, Steven?
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to post 2020 or post 2019 Magic, where Fire Design reigns overall.
Yep.
All right, Andrew finishing his turn with a Tabernacle at the Pendrel Vale. Boston gonna pay the upkeep cost for his Delver, and then draw for his turn. Swings in for another 3 points of damage, brings Andrew down to 14.
Yeah,
Boston going to crack his Polluted Delta.
Yeah, and I like the Tabernacle play because it actually forces Boston to crack the second fetch in order to play another spell.
Yeah.
So now Carpet is just doing work, right?
Yeah, and I think Andrew, like, he has the 1 Emrakul in hand. I don't see it being played. Like, it is 13, but it does have.
Well, I mean, he only has 4 lands, so it's only been reduced by 1.
Yes, it is only being reduced by 1. So Andrew's got a long way to go. I'll just say that.
Yeah, but then the thing is that like the Reclaimer can keep getting he can spin the Reclaimer and get more Glimmer Posts, right? So he's just gonna keep getting more and more life.
Yeah. So if you are in Andrew's position and that's what you want to be doing, like obviously that's what you want to be doing, what is the land that you sacrifice?
I would sacrifice Tabernacle right now because it's not needed, and you don't want to hamper your own mana development. Yeah, and then because right now you already forced Boston to give you 2 lands, and I think that's all you need for Carpet of Flowers.
Yeah.
Now you can go into you can get a soul land, and then you're going to be super happy.
Okay, so Andrew's gonna generate 2 sources of mana from the Carpet of Flowers. Going to activate the Elvish Reclaimer. Gonna sacrifice the Tabernacle. Find himself a Cloud Post. And I think he drew a 1 ring for his turn, if I saw that correctly. Boston has Daze, Brainstorm, Orcish Bowmaster, and I think it's a Scalding Tarn in hand. Draws a Murktide Regent for his turn.
Ooh.
Going to go to combat, swings, brings Andrew down to 11. And I think we're going to see the Murktide Regent come down, right?
Oh, yeah. If it was a Murktide, I think it should, because it would be like 1-turn threat, right? If a Murktide is an 8/8.
And how many does he have? I think he only has 4 instants and sorceries in the graveyard.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, still a large threat, but not a big max count to end the game.
Yeah. Let's see. And at this point, I mean, he can even go get like the Glacial Chasm and be okay.
Yeah. I mean, if Boston really wanted to try to present a 1-turn clock, he can use the Brainstorm and then just put the last cantrip into the graveyard that grows the Murktide 1 more.
Yep.
There's a Brainstorm fire from Boston.
Yeah. That's probably what he's going to do.
Draws Wasteland, DRC, and Flooded Strand. Going to put Scalding Tarn and Flooded Strand on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably just going to shuffle them away.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like his hand's fairly stacked.
There's a
So
Wasteland, goes after the Cloud Post.
yeah.
Yeah, and gonna crack the Flooded Strand. Go down to 17. Yeah, so this is looking like really good for Boston.
Yes, yeah. But the thing is that like it depends on. I believe it really depends on what Andrew can draw, right? So because right now he would have access to. Oh, he would have access to 5 mana. So if he draws a land in prime time, like that's
Oh, that is very good, yes. I think he drew an
yeah.
Elvish Spirit Guide. I think it's the new art Elvish Spirit Guide. The one that's exiled right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like he's using 4 mana. Plays
Okay,
the 1
great.
ring.
Yeah.
So this helps him survive.
Yeah.
And this is going to start drawing a ton of cards.
I don't know if it's going to bring that many cards because I think there's Bowmaster in hand, right?
Ah,
For
yes, there is a
Boston?
Bowmaster, yeah. So there's a Daze. Boston's
Sure.
going to fire it off.
No, that's fair because then it makes the carpet make less mana in the future, which is relevant.
All right, Andrew going to activate the 1 ring, adds a Boseiju to his hand, going to play the land for turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's just going to pass. Boston untaps, draws for his turn. So no point in attacking as Andrew has protection from everything this turn.
Yeah.
I think
I'm just really interested in why they play that 13 mana Emrakul because it seems like it's hard to get other card types in the graveyard.
yeah, it really does. I mean, maybe they're just looking to hard cast it.
Sure. Oh, what is this? Oh, okay, activation. Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Boston just gonna pass the turn, wait patiently.
Gain more life. Oh, nope. Okay. So I guess he's gearing up for prime time.
Yeah, I think he still only has the 1 Emrakul in hand, right? I think he doesn't have anything else.
Nope.
I mean, if he searches for... I mean, he could technically gain life anyway. Oh, there's a Pithing Needle. But he could gain life by activating the Elvish Reclaimer now, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, as long as... The problem with having carpet is that like it wants you to do stuff during main phase. It kind of forces you to do so that's the
Yeah, he's gonna activate 1 ring. Down comes Bowmaster from Boston. Boston going to make a 3/3 army in the end of it, and then you're gonna draw 2 cards. Draws a Glimmer Post and a Forest.
that's a pretty good draw. Glimmer Post is really good.
Draw or gains 4 life, right?
Yep.
All right, back up to 11.
So
He
now
is
he's
counting
really
his mana.
yeah, and he's really looking for like a Green Sun Zenith or like any like a and he boarded out his what is that Once Upon a Time is right. So it's hard to find payoffs. Yeah.
So how much mana can he generate here? He can generate 3 from his Glimmer Post and then another 4 from his Cloud Post.
Yeah.
So that's 7, 8, 9. So he's only got 9 mana. There's only lands in his graveyard, so that Emrakul is a 12 cost card.
Mm-hmm. But I think even if the Emerald comes down, like it's like sure you
Boston loses his Murktide, right? That's gonna be, I think that's gonna be the hardest thing. Pithing Needle is gonna come down, presumably name Wasteland.
Wasteland, yeah. There's nothing else to name.
All right, Boston very politely giving us the name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think right now you just want to chain. You just want to chain Glimmer Post, try to get as high life total as possible. I'm not sure if I like this searching during the main phase though.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't need to use the Carpet of Flowers mana if you're not going to be doing anything else. He does have the mana available for him to just do it during Boston's turn.
Exactly. Yeah. So
and then so if Boston has a way to deal with this Pithing Needle and then tries to go after the Glimmer Post, then you can sacrifice the Glimmer Post to the Elvish Reclaimer in response if that's the play. Oh.
Wow, main phase, huh? Okay.
Main phase finds Glacial Chasm, sacrifices a second Glimmer Post to do this play.
That kind of hurts.
Yeah. This is... So he just lost a lot of mana, right?
Yes. And it also didn't help his graveyard at all, because his graveyard's still all land.
Yeah. Boston finds a Daze off of the top of his library.
So Daze is fairly alive again.
Yeah. Oh wow, only 3 mana, right?
Yes.
2 from the Glimmer 2 from the Cloud Post, 1 from the Glimmer Post. I don't think
And one
Glacial
and
Chasm.
two from carpet. And two from carpet.
Yeah, but not on Boston's turn, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think Andrew's going to be casting any instance. I don't think that's what his deck does, anyways. So, and he also bordered a lot of it out.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a Dragon's Rage Chandler from Boston.
Yeah.
Just gonna develop the board a little bit more and wait for this Glacial Chasm to expire. Like, do you even you like he's committed to this. He needs to keep it around, right? He's gonna be losing so much life from this One Ring and the Glacial Chasm.
Well, he can't take damage from Glacial Chasm, right? So he can activate the ring all he wants.
Isn't the ring
I believe
loss of
Glacial
life?
Yes, but I mean the draw with the Bowmaster. So he can keep drawing. It looks like his plan is just to draw out, like, and then try to try to keep the chasm as long as possible, but then use the ring to draw as much. And then the goal is to make land drops and then like change his land into glimmer posts.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, because that's the only way he can gain life.
Is the One Ring is the upkeep trigger? Is that damage? Or I thought it was loss of life.
No, it's loss of life.
So shouldn't Angie be at a lower life total? Because he was at
11, and he took two from Glacial Chasm and two from. Oh, was he at 12? I thought.
No, I thought he was at 11.
Okay, so
maybe the One Ring is different. Let me just double check that. But he does activate the One Ring. He does find two more One Rings, and now his hand is quite strong.
But I feel like he's made it a lot more difficult for himself.
Yeah, by sacrificing all of those lands.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not sure how else it would have played out, but it feels like he was in a good position, and then now he's in a way worse one, like mana wise, right? Because there's a Green Sun in hand, right? Like the Green Sun has he's gonna have a hard time Green Sunning like whatever he wants out right now.
Yeah. Okay. So it is loss of life. So I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they just haven't updated the life. But we're gonna see an Elvish Reclaimer activation using the Carpet of Flower mana. Gonna sacrifice this Glacial Chasm.
Yeah. Yeah, he has to. He needs mana. Yeah, he needs mana real bad.
But he can play the One Ring now, right? So this helps him survive a little bit longer, and that's why he can ditch the Glacial Chasm.
Yeah.
So do you think it's worth here, because the trigger still goes on the stack when it enters the battlefield, if Boston lets this resolve? There's a Daze. Andrew, there's a Surveil trigger, sorry. But what I was saying is, do you keep the one with the burning counters, or do you just refresh it?
I think you have to refresh it.
Just because your life is getting like so low?
Yeah. And then you just got rid of the Glacial Chasm, and then I believe that his next play, if he keeps it, his next play has to be Reclaimer gets Glimmer Post to gain 4 more life, and then do something else. All these lines it feels like it's super convoluted if he keeps the original one. Yeah.
Okay, so he does keep the new one. Going to sacrifice the one with burden counters on it to the legend rule and just get protection from everything. Gives him a little bit more time. I just thought that he might want to keep the one with burden counters on it because we know that he does have a third One Ring in hand. He could try to just draw a couple extra cards and then gain protection again.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think you want to. Well, I mean, there's a Bowmaster, right? So you really don't want to lose any more life. And then now that the Reclaimer is dead, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Right. So now he cannot gain life. But he has a Green Sun in hand. So I mean, he should have enough mana. What's that? 360. Yeah. Okay. So he has enough to pay for Days. So he can Green Sun for 6.
You're now forgetting that there's 3 different card types in the graveyard. So this Evercool is now 10 mana, and how much mana can he generate now?
4, 8. Oh, he has enough. Yes, he has 11. No, he has 12. Yeah, he has 12.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
Yeah. Okay.
He has in one turn finally. He was able to get a bunch of different card types to the graveyard, and I think we're going to see an Evercool the Promised End getting hard cast in Legacy here. There it is. Boston's hand movements say, yup, that's probably going to resolve. I think it does have protection from instants, right?
But it doesn't have protection against counter spells, right? So it can't be countered. I mean, Boston does have Force of Will, but does he have a blue card in hand?
Oh, that I'm
Additional
not sure.
thing to pitch?
I was not paying attention, so I'm not sure about the contents of his hand. Looks like it is going to resolve no matter what. Andrew going to hardcast an Endurance, going to mix it in and shuffle away Boston's graveyard. This is going to be a big Andrew / Boston turn that's coming out next.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So instants and sorceries are leaving the graveyard. So Murktide is going to get an extra 3 counters. It is going to become an 11/11. This is very important because it still dies to the Spaghetti Monster in combat.
Yeah.
I believe this one is 13/13, right?
Yes. I'm just reading the text on Emrakul Promising right now, and it is like it is a Mindslaver cast trigger, but then you can't counter it. It has protection for instants, but you can counter this.
You
so
can, okay.
Oh, he has no blue card. Okay,
yes,
yeah,
he has no blue card.
Yeah.
Which is why the hand movements from Boston, I assume.
Yeah.
All right, so Andrew going to activate the One Ring on Boston's turn while he is controlling it. It is going to trigger the Orcish Bowmaster. Orcish Bowmaster is going to ping itself, going to kill it. The Orc army is now becoming an 8/8, so that thing is becoming quite large. Gonna go to combat, swing in with Murktide and Dragon's Rage Chandler. Gonna block with the Emrakul and the Endurance. Gonna kill the Murktide Regent and the Dragon's Rage Chandler. This leaves the 8/8 Orc army alive. Gonna go to the second main phase. Down comes Underground Sea and cast Orcish Bowmaster, pinging itself. I think it's Andrew's trying to do, and then that grows the Orcish army once more, making it a 9/9. So now Boston is going to take his regular turn, only 3 cards in hand, Volcanic Island, Force of Will, and a Flooded Strand.
Yeah, I don't think there's much you can do.
What happened to Boston's side of the board?
Yeah, well, I mean...
This end is promising as Andrew has now top decked an Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger for his turn. So hungry. Yeah, okay, so down comes an Ulamog. Boston's going to scoop it up. So that's Andrew tying it up 1-1. Everything that was like really weird. It was kind of ups and downs, but I think what really helped was he did have the Pithing Needle, but Boston didn't find too many wastelands anyway. So that might have been beneficial on Boston's part just because he couldn't deal with, or he had no way of like removing that Pithing Needle, even if he did draw those wastelands.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the big key was the Carpet of Flowers, right? Like, really enabled a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Like, if there was no Carpet of Flowers, like a lot of things would be dazeable, and then like the wastelands would be so much better, right?
So,
like
in that one play or in that one turn, do we remember what Boston ended up using the Force of Will on instead of the Carpet of Flowers? Because he did let it resolve, and I assume that he needed to Force of Will something else. He did Force of Will something else, but I mean, like, it was the Endurance, right? Yes.
Yeah, that was blocking his Delver. But then, like, if there was no Carpet, like, the Endurance wouldn't have come down.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So both of them are going to keep their opening 7s. Boston's going to start off with an Underground Sea into Delver and Mishra's Bauble. We've seen this start before. This is going to help Delver flip the turn. Or flip during his turn. He's going to bubble himself. He sees a Murktide Regent, going to draw off the bubble first, then trigger the Delver. Going to not flip it. I believe he drew a land. But Andrew just started his turn with Forest into Pithing Needle. Boston going to Ponder. And going to Shuffle.
Yeah, I mean, this is the ideal start for Andrew. This is what he really wants. You know, turn one Pithing Needle, especially when he also has like a basic in play, just negates all the wastelands, unless, like, you know, Boston has the top decks, the one of like Meltdown.
Yeah, but the significant thing is Boston didn't have a counterspell for this Pithing Needle.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew top decks a Endurance, I believe, plays another Forest into Elvish Reclaimer. Down comes a Carpet of Flowers. Wow, Andrew just casting whatever he wants. This is looking really good for him.
I probably would have done that. Well, I mean, personally, I would have prioritized. Oh, is that Price of Progress? All right,
Price of Progress, but it's looking down 2 basic forests at the moment.
Well, I guess like personally, I would have led with the carpet first because I don't want to get dazed because like Boston did see a whole bunch of cards on his turn two, so he couldn't but hey, he didn't get dazed, so no harm, no foul.
Yeah. I mean, I am gonna give these guys a little bit of leeway here. They are playing a little bit fast and a little bit loose. I think there's only 10. I think they have less than 10 minutes left in this round just because of how long game 1 and 2 lasted. But
oh, that's 5 mana. Wow.
Yes, Andrew's going to play a Caracas for turn, generate 5 mana. There's an Endurance going to shuffle away 2 cards in Boston's graveyard. So now this Delver is kind of just going to be flapping its wings here, doing a little bit of nothing.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously you want to like ambush it, right? But I guess he's afraid of running into daze if he does it during an opponent's turn.
Okay, so Elvish Reclaimer sacks the Caracas for a Cloud Post.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because he's not worried about the carpet getting dazed, but now he's worried about the endurance getting dazed, and it's like,
looks like there's a Echoing Depths or Echoing Deeps being played. It is coming in untapped, so it is not copying anything. So it is not Vesuva. It is Vesuva for the graveyard. So the only thing he can copy is the Caracas anyway. So might as well just have it come in untapped. So here's a Brainstorm from Boston. Boston looking at, I think it's a Forcible and 2 Murktides. Nope, that's a Brazen Borrower and 2 Murktides. Has a lot of lands in hand. Go to ditch a Volcanic Island and a Murktide.
I mean, I think Boston has to watch out for his own life total because he might die to his own price of progress.
Yes, he will.
Because he's running all non-basics as well. I mean, he can wasteland his own lands, but
better make sure that the price of progress is killing if that's what it's going to come down to. No, he can't. He can't wasteland his lands because Pithing Needle's on the board.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's right. So I mean, that's that price of progress is very
I mean, I guess he could make this a draw if he really wants to. He doesn't have much time to make this decision.
Yeah, and we know Andrew knows because he flipped it off Delver, right?
Yes.
So Andrew should know.
All right, so here is an abundance of mana from Andrew. Not abundance, it's only tapped for 2. So activating the Elvish Reclaimer, sacrificing Echoing Depths, and bringing in a Cloud Post at the end of Boston's turn.
Yeah. So he'll have 8 mana on his own turn, all right.
Looks like Boston's thinking about it, or thinking about something.
Maybe he wants to kill the Reclaim while it's tapped.
How does he kill the Reclaimer while it's tapped? Is it the Brazen?
Well, no, I mean, like, while it's tapped and there's only 2 lands in the yard. Because as soon as
he doesn't have
3,
a removal
then it's
spell,
the 3/4, right?
I don't think he has a removal spell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think his hand is Brazen Borrower, Murktide, Price of Progress, and then 2 lands.
Yeah. Maybe he's bluffing there's a removal spell. Who knows? Like,
okay. Andrew top decks a Bajuka Bog, gonna slam it, exiles a Brainstorm out of the graveyard. Boston going to crack a Scalding Tarn and search for another non-basic.
Yeah.
Finds a second Volcanic Island. Maybe he's speedrunning his own death.
Well, I mean, there can't be that many more basics in Andrew's deck either, right? So
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, gonna tap 2. Go to Brazen Borrower, the Pithing Needle.
Okay.
Alright. Gonna see Andrew channeled Beseju in response to Brazen Borrower. Gets rid of Boston's Wasteland. Not bad.
Okay.
This is not bad.
Yeah.
So Boston choosing not to search for another land.
Well, yeah, there's carpet in play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that should not be on adventure because the Pithing Needle. Oh no, never mind.
It did resolve. Pithing Needle is in the hand. Yeah. Boston's gonna play another Wasteland, so he's gonna get 1 Wasteland. And I think there's another Wasteland in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
There is, yes.
But this Wasteland is not gonna be as good because he'll just reclaim or whatever the Wasteland targets.
Yes, this is true. But I mean, I guess like in either case, he is going to prevent Andrew from getting 3 cloud posts on the board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like this preemptive one, unless it's just to get a glimmer post. Okay.
It is.
So
he is
just
going to find a
forcing-
cloud post. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just forcing Boston to waste. Like,
I mean, I think it's gonna happen. Actually, no, it doesn't happen no matter what, right?
no, it doesn't have to, because if he leaves it untapped, like he'll still, like right now he's actually down to mana, right?
Yeah, because he could have played Pithy Needle, forced Boston to use a Wasteland, and then sacrifice
Yeah.
whatever he's target. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly. So just being a bit hasty.
Yeah, so Andrew top decks a second Carpet of Flowers off of the top, going to use one of the mana from the Carpet of Flowers to cast the Pithy Needle again, naming Wasteland. We
Mhm.
know Boston doesn't really have any responses to any of this. Down comes a second Carpet of Flowers.
Yeah, and I mean right now with the Carpet of Flowers like this, like I think the only use for a cloud post is actually just to flip him to gain life, right? Because you know about the price of progress in hand, so you you just don't want to play it anymore because Boston is giving you 6 mana on your turn.
So Boston gonna flash in Brazen Borrower at the end of Andrew's turn, gonna draw for his, finds an Orcish Bowmaster. Boston gonna play a Wasteland for his turn. And gonna go straight into combat, swinging in for 9.
Yeah, and he's got a Bowmaster, right? So whatever gets after damage, he's willing to trade and then like use the Bowmaster to ping off the
Endurance.
The Reclaimer. Oh, sorry, yeah, the Endurance. My bad.
So Endurance is gonna die here. But it is gonna save Andrew 3 points of life. So I am gonna apologize to all of the viewers. The top of the the top of the board is hard to see.
Ooh, Veil. Okay.
Yeah, so it is 18-19 for Boston. So Veil of Summer is gonna get cast. Yeah, so Endurance is not gonna die because everything has protection or hexproof from blue and black.
Yep.
Protection from blue and black.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so
oh, sacrificing the forest. Oh, he wants to sacrifice the forest? There should be no Orc token because the Veil of Summer blocked it, right? So
oh yes, but then Veil of Summer drew a card, and then that caused the
yes,
and then I think he pinged his Delver. So this is what I'm confirming with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
So the draw off of the Veil of Summer pinged the Delver, and then that's why there's the 1/1 there. Okay. I thought the same. I thought the same thing, and then Boston promised me that he played correctly, and
yeah. Oh my goodness! Literally playing into Price of Progress. Okay.
What is the possibility that he has forgotten?
I guess he must have. I mean, right now there's no reason to do this because he's making 6 mana from Carpet of Flowers.
I mean, Boston did go through quite a few cantrips. Like Andrew might be under the impression that at the time he might have shuffled Price of Progress away because Andrew was only presenting 2 forests. So,
but there's no way. I mean, like this guy's his entire board is like his entire mana base is all like virtually non-basics, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Sacrificing the last forest. Okay.
Sacrificing another forest. Trying to cast this. So the Emrakul has resolved. So no matter what, Andrew is going to see that there is a Price of Progress in Boston's hand when he takes control of Boston's turn.
I'm just wondering if this is happening because they're just running out of time, so there's not enough time to think over things, which could be quite possible, right?
But you're at the point where this Endurance is kind of keeping Boston's board a little bit on lock, and you're in a position where you don't need the mana, right?
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, there's if he remembers, there's no reason to keep playing. Oh my god, there we go.
Oh, so I was wrong. I was wrong. I think Andrew's at 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is at 10 because Boston attacked with the Delver and the Brazen.
Yeah, and he took 6.
Yeah, okay, so
6.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is Andrew playing straight into
Price of Progress. That was revealed through Delver on turn 1 or turn 2. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate.
That is unfortunate, but that's what happens when you're playing on camera sometimes and you're playing a 15-minute round and it goes to time and everyone's watching you. So nerves could have played a factor there. But yeah, that will be Boston taking round number 1. All right. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time.